What's happening, guys? Welcome back. Just a chill Wednesday night. I totally forgot my camera at home, so you're getting an iPhone vlog tonight. It should be fine with these wide-angle lenses. I'm trying out the 60 frames per second. Sometimes I like that. Sometimes it freaks me out and gives me like motion sickness. But so my last vlog, I fired up the welder. I impressed the crap out of myself with some welds. I don't know how well the camera is going to pick that stuff up, but so I want to keep going with that. And so this is the type of joint that I was practicing on, stuff like this. So what I want to do is simulate more of welding on a Jeep frame. So I did pick up some flat stock. This is like 3/8 or something, like, not 3/8. What is this? 3/16. And I picked up a 1/8. So I can practice doing a T-joint weld with thicker and thinner metal to simulate like a 1/4 inch bracket going on the Jeep frame. So that's gonna be good practice for me. So far I'm loving the welder, but big goal, I don't know if I'm gonna get to it tonight, but what I'm working up to is this big box of parts. So got my plumb bobs. You guys saw that I mounted up the axles. So I got my plumb bobs so I can start playing with that. Got a cutoff wheel. But here's a joint. This is a box full of TMR brackets. I got like a truss upper link. These are lower. This is an adjustable upper. You know, I got all sorts of TMR goodies in there, but these do not come assembled. Like, you have to assemble this so that it ends up looking somewhat more like this. So what I'm working up to is being able to be confident enough to at least tack weld those. But these are 1/4 inch, and I haven't messed with anything really that thick yet. I do think that this 3/16 will be a good test for me. But yeah, so just a laid back, chill vlog tonight. I'm gonna mess with the welder a little bit and sip on some decaf coffee because it's like almost 5 o'clock, so definitely don't need a full cup of coffee right now. But let's see how many times I can say "but" in this vlog. All right, I'm gonna just put some music on, and I'm gonna cut these pieces down into some fun size practice pieces and see what I can get done tonight. All right, so I was able to practice some T-joint welds over here. That's still really hot. Not too shabby, but with a little pure pressure. This is, nobody knows about this stuff yet, but we're gonna weld this together, and I'll talk about it later. Okay, so we ran into a little snag. We're gonna fix it though. This part of the bracket here really needs to be welded because this right here is what goes against your frame. But when you get to the point where you're putting these pieces on, by the time you get both of these on, you're not gonna be able to get the torch in there. Right now I've just been playing with 110 with my outlet here. And I do have this big boy extension cord and a 220 outlet, so we're gonna give that a shot. This welder can go up to, I think it's 3/8, where are we? Yeah, it goes up to 3/8, no problem. So we're gonna try out the 220, and I'm just gonna fully send it on this weld here. No time like the present to learn. This thing's solid already though. All right, here we go. Well, well, well. That is an absolute wild sight to see. I've been sitting on these brackets for the longest time, and to actually see them like together, it's just like so crazy to me. And the fact that I put them together, this is that weld that I managed to get done. There's a lot of dust in there. This was my first time doing a T-joint with my 220, like the 220 setup. So, I mean, I'm pretty excited about that. It does look like I got ample penetration. You can see the heat marks underneath. I put my joints in there to make sure that they fit. Everything is good. So everything else is just tack welded up. These things are absolutely gorgeous. These are, this is from TMR Customs, as most of that is. There's like one Barnes bracket, but I went all TMR because their stuff is beefy as hell. So This is so cool to see. I'm pumped on that. So over here, these are my first T-joint welds ever. So these are pretty freaking cool to go from that. This is my second day ever even playing with a welder in general. So I'm blown away by what I'm actually able to do. This is something I've been looking forward to doing for the longest time. So just let this be a lesson for you. If you want to do something, just go do it. Stop thinking about it. Just go do it. So I think that's gonna do it for tonight. And I'm gonna go eat some dinner. I'm gonna shower. I'm gonna hit work early in the morning, and then I'm pumped up about this. So I might come back in here tomorrow and get the other one going. So I'll see you then. All right. So last night I did manage to get this all tacked up. I think I did get an approval from someone who is a little bit more qualified than me, but we got some decent penetration, and this is cool stuff, man. I'm hyped on this. So tonight I'm gonna dig into this box. Maybe I'll assemble the mate to this so I can get these off to the side, and then on the Jeep here. And then once those are together, I can start really marking where the axle is gonna fall. I got my plumb bobs. I think I said that yesterday. I need to repair the belly skid bolts, but that'll be a project after all these brackets are done. I just ordered the new nut certs from Black Magic Brakes. So things are moving along here. Getting these brackets together is honestly like a huge step, and it's so cool that I'm able to actually do it myself. So that's what I'm gonna work on tonight. All right, so I got a lot of this welding done. I'm starting to get tired, and I messed up a couple of them, and I'm just like, I'm just eh. So, I mean, this is one. I mean, it's not pretty, but at least it did penetrate. I'm gonna go back over. I'm not gonna go all the way back over it, but I can still tack weld in some of the spots that I missed. I moved along too quick on that one. You can see I kind of caught myself towards the end over there. This one's not too bad. I had a lot of spatter. I think that's because I had the ground in the wrong spot, so it wasn't getting a good ground. That one came out really nice. That one's good. And I kind of really messed up on this inside one. You can't really see it. It's kind of still too hard for me to touch. But, you know, you can't win them all. I did go back over it where I had to, and you can see that I got good heat on the top, and then I still have to weld that. So I'm not worried about structure with any of these welds, but they're not going to look the prettiest, especially like, you know, the ones on the outside I should have saved because those are the ones that you're going to see. But it is what it is. It's my first time welding. I mean, it's my first week welding, so I'm still pretty proud of myself. I have a lot of, you know, learning to do. Yeah, so I'm getting tired, you know, as you saw, I messed up that last one, so it's time to go home. And tomorrow's Friday, so hopefully I'll have a little bit more energy tomorrow, and I can really have my head with me. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys, so it's now Sunday. Yesterday I actually went to work and got actually a bunch of stuff done down here, and I just didn't film it all. So I'm gonna wrap up some things in this video. But so I did manage to weld up most of these brackets. I got a little ahead of myself. Like, this one's not too pretty, but I am confident that these welds will hold. Or at least the ones on like the outside that everybody's gonna see are at least a little bit appealing. That one's actually like really good. But like, one thing I didn't take into account with like learning how to weld is like, you really need to be like calm, and you can't rush it. Like, you need to take your time and have like a steady hand, and you can't be like tired or sore or whatever. So that's something I didn't really think about getting into welding. So these brackets are just about welded up, and I'm coming down here this morning because I bought some 1/4-inch flat stock that I wanted to play around with. I think I still need to adjust my technique a little bit, and so I want to play around with that this morning. And then honestly, I'm pretty good with that. You know, I want to keep this video like just on the welding stuff. So later on, I need to find the bolts for the upper control arms, so that way I can get these axles back up to ride height, and I can then hang my plumb bobs to mark where my axle was, and then when I go to do a front stretch, I know exactly how much I'm stretching it. I'm gonna save all that for the next video, just so like setting up the suspension is in one consolidated area on my channel. Last night I came out of the shop all bummed out about some welds that I just wasn't happy with, but I fixed up some of the spatter that I had because I had a gap, and then the wire was just shooting through that gap on the backside and just made a mess. But so I cleaned up that a little bit, and now that I'm looking at it, I am like it's not as bad as I thought it was. So I'm confident that it'll be strong, which is really what matters. At least like the bottom parts here don't look too bad. But I don't know. I was just like super bummed out last night. But you know what? Nobody knows that this is my third time ever picking up a welding torch. So it is what it is. You know, it doesn't. As long as it's strong, you know, I'm not gonna get hurt. So I don't care. I don't really care what other people think. I just need to keep that in mind. It's doing this for me. I'm not doing this for. This isn't the people's Jeep. This is my Jeep, and I'm confident that this is strong enough. So with a fresh coat of paint too, you'll never see any of this stuff. It's gonna blend in really nicely. So there was like 1 or 2 more welds that I didn't do. I think maybe on the other bracket. So I'm gonna play with that 1/4 inch stock that I got, and then wrap these up, and maybe I will. No, I can't paint them. They need to go on the Jeep first. But I do have other brackets to put together, so maybe we'll do that later. Alright, so here is that's not hot. Here's what I'm going to be practicing with. So now I tacked it in the middle, so now I can do a bead that way and a bead that way. And this will simulate a lot of the T-joint welds on the TMR brackets over there. So I'm going to fool around with this and see what the heck works the best. Okay, so here is some of my practice welds. This one I turned up the heat a little bit more, and you can see that's definitely, it's like flatter into the metal. This one was a little bit cold, but like it'll hold. One of them I went way too hot, and I started like carving into the metal. It's actually this middle one. I don't know if I could show it on this lens. It won't like. I started like literally eating into the metal because it was just so hot. So I backed off a little bit. Not too bad. I think this one I actually kind of missed a little bit. But I do think that these are going to be strong enough for the things that I'm doing. So I went ahead, got my brackets out, and I put these top caps on. Now, the fillet weld is a little bit more tricky. This one I actually did a couple passes. That doesn't look that good. This one, this camera's just not focusing today. This one's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. All the way around, it looks pretty decent. I actually can't touch that, it's so hot. So these brackets are officially burned in. These are going to be the TMR rear 4-link brackets. So I'm gonna dig into my stuff down here, see if I can maybe tack some other stuff together, and keep practicing. Welding is just like a big part of building off-road vehicles, so it's something I want to just like, I'm gonna be doing this for a long time, so I want to, it's something I want to get good at, so I'm gonna just keep going. So I was just working on the front 3-link bracket, and so here it is. You can see this is a very big gap, so they do give you a lot of adjustment. But the problem is, if I want to cut this, I'd rather cut it in its like plate form. You know, like I'd rather use a grinder and cut it well, like it's flat. So this might have to wait until I get those axles mounted up, because I wanted to put my 3rd link on this side, and I wanted to put my my mount on top of the pumpkin here. but anybody who's built a 3-link knows that it gets tight here really quick with the drive shaft. So I don't know if this is gonna fit as it is. I do anticipate having to cut this. So I think what I'm gonna do is wait until that is mocked up and I can at least get some sort of measurements and maybe tack this together and fit it up there. So I'm gonna hold off on this one for now. I do have a track bar bracket here. I think as well I have to hold off on this because there's a whole mess of things I want to do to the front steering to get these JK axles to work, and so I need to make sure that that won't have to be modified. I do have a feeling that that will have to be modified as well, because to do the JK axle swap correctly, your track bar is like the biggest piece of the puzzle, and so I want to make sure that my drag link and my track bar are exactly the same length. And that track bar bracket is it's an outside mount, but it's like way outside, so I need to do some measurements to see if that is going to work. I can probably just modify where it'll meet the axle very easily. What a lot of people do, I don't know what they do on the frame side, but a lot of people do some DOM Frenched into the C-gusset here and just run the track bar single shear into that. I don't know if that's gonna work. I don't know, so I need to get that measurement and start playing with it. I have my drag link here. I guess I could just use that for my measurement. Maybe I'll do that, but I need to mock up the axles. So maybe I'll I don't know what to do.